my client will be able to do. Now that shows that you've built a level of connection with your clients. There is one of my realtor that we are trying to close our clients. The client is about coming on board with us on Rootland Farms and Resorts. He doesn't want to buy land. All our conversations are centered around the fact that he just wants to put his money somewhere and then invest that, put his money somewhere where the money is going to give him very good return on investment. So from the conversation that we had with the man, we got to understand that this man wants to do buyback. He doesn't want anything that's going to make him care about, okay, I own the land, I this and that, and that's not his concern. His major concern is actually in the fact that he wants to put his money somewhere and he wants to get return on investment from it. Now, when we wanted to go have a meeting with that client, do you know what the realtor said? The realtor prepared the documents, which is the contract of sale. Let's go to the meeting with the contract of sale. Let's go to the meeting with the subscription form. Let's go to the meeting with every single thing, even the FAQ. And then the realtor was like, if possible, if we can come with the MD, it would be best for us to have the MD in that meeting. I said, why do you need the MD? The MD is not supposed to be in those kind of meetings. MD's work is actually to go about with the strategy and some other very important functions and all that. The realtor said, no, I know my client and I want a much more higher level person to be in that meeting. Now, mind you, this is a realtor that I've also helped to close more deals. But the realtor said, I know my client, and my client would want to see probably the MD or the GMD. So this is a realtor that has built very strong relationship with our clients. That's why she's able to say, no, this is what my client wants. I want it to come in this direction. So when I was reading the book today, I said this is a very, very powerful thing. This is a very, very powerful thing to know. Now, all of your selling success today and for the rest of your career will entirely be based on the quality of relationship that you're able to form with your customers. Some of you, when you make sale, you remember Miss Tinu mentioned during our session that there was when she bought property from one of our realtors at that time, that after the sale was done, there was no follow-up on her to know if she's even enjoying the apartment that she bought and things like that. So you don't want to be that type of realtor. You want to be the type of realtor that's able to build a very good relationship with your customer. Now, before we move right into it, I want you to work with this mindset. Refuse to make excuses or blame anyone for anything in your life that you're not happy about. Refuse to blame anyone or to make excuses about anything going on in life right now that you are not happy about. Now, you would ask, why am I saying this? It's very important you know this because as a salesperson, you should be the leader of your life. You should be the one leading your life. You should be the one pivoting your life. You should take real estate sales as a business with a CEO with an entrepreneurial mindset. That's how you should take it on. So if there's anything going on in your life that you don't like right now, I want you to have the mind that real estate can transform that life for you. Real estate ability to transform that life for you. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Is anyone with me? Let me see you do a thumbs up. All right, great. Now let's move straight into it. This evening, we are going to be talking about the several properties that we have available for sale and also where to sell to, who to sell to, and how you can position your offer. Those are the things that we'll be discussing this evening. And the very first product that we'll be discussing about this evening is Harmony Hills. I'd like for us to go straight into our project in Ibadan. We'll be discussing about Harmony Hills. Remember, over the last week, we discussed about the benefits of having product knowledge. One of which we said was to help you build trust with your clients. The second one was to increase confidence. The next one is to effectively address objections. The fourth one is improve your personal brand, because it is what you know that you are able to sell to your clients. Then the other one is that it enhances your client experience, helps you to maximize upselling opportunities, and also streamline your sales. Let's talk about the very first product that we have for this evening. The very first property we have on ground this evening is Harmony Hills Estate. Harmony Hills Estate. The location of Harmony Hills Estate. If you are writing, let me see you do a thumbs up. If you are writing or you are jotting down, let me see you do a thumbs up. All right. Now, it's important that you take notes. Taking notes of things like this is going to help you remember them faster. Because when you take your time to write down things, it helps you remember the thing fast. We are currently in a world we are in a world where people have deficiency when it comes to attention span. Attention span is so short to the extent that 1 minute after you see something, you're forgetting. But when you take your time to write down something, you're able to remember that. Even if it's not in detail, you're able to remember it to some extent. So Harmony Hills is located in Ido, Ibadan. So for those of us that are familiar with Ido, Harmony Hills is 5 to 7 minutes drive from Ladoke train station. 5 to 7 minutes drive from the Omiadio train station called Ladoke Akintola train station. That's how close it is to Harmony Hills. Now, we have a very big vision for Harmony Hills Estate. One of the vision that we have for Harmony Hills Estate is to make it a live, work, play estate. So we are introducing wellness of activities and development establishments in Harmony Hills Estate, in the sense that there are segments. The estate has been segmented into different layouts. We have the commercial layout, we have the residential layout, and then we have the resort part. And the resort part is going to be done with more of developments like wellness and spa. There's going to be table tennis courts in those locations. So now I'm talking about the features of Harmony Hills Estate, so you can write this down. So we are talking about we are going to be having table tennis courts in Harmony Hills Estate. We're also going to be having a resort area where people are able to come and relax. Then another feature of Harmony Hills Estate is that we want to integrate cultural heritage into it. So it's going to be more of a travel destination. So the resort area in Harmony Hills Estate is going to be a major destination, in the sense that people who live in Lagos and are looking for places to escape to, probably for the weekend or maybe for relaxation, and that they are able to come use estate and then have those kind of weekend retreats in the resort aspect of Harmony Hills. We're also integrating cultural heritage to it in a manner where it's actually putting Harmony Hills in the limelight as one of the cultural heritage destinations for Ibadan itself. So those are part of the vision that we have for Harmony Hills Estate. And one of the good things about Harmony Hills Estate is that it is directly facing a tarred road. I think that road is the road leading to Ido precisely. I think so. That's the road that Harmony Hills Estate is directly facing. I want us to look at this video. Is a short 3D video showing the gatehouse and how the development is going to be like in Harmony Hills Estate. Please help me plug the laptop. All right, can we see the screen? Okay. Is the video playing on your end? If it's playing, can you let me know? Awesome, awesome. So this is a 3D representation of how Harmony Hills Estate is going to be like. So the gatehouse, you can see how it is filled with greens, and the filling up with greens is very intentional because we want people to come to Harmony Hills and to be able to still reconnect back with nature. So that's the vision that we have for Harmony Hills Estate. Now, moving forward, let's talk about the plot sizes of Harmony Hills Estate. We have different plots at Harmony Hills Estate. We have the 300 square meter, we have 500 square meters, and we have 600 square meters. We have 300 square meters, we have 500 square meters, and we have 600 square. So now each of these, we have the 300 square meters currently selling for 2,400,000 naira. And this covers for the cost of land and cost of documentation. For the 500 square meters is selling at 4 million naira, and the 600 square meters selling for 4.8 million naira. So this covers for the cost of the land and also the cost of documentation. We've not included the cost of development fee into it, because of the kind of development we want to bring to the estate. We don't want this to put that price and we are shooting ourselves on our own legs. So we are taking our time to actually we monitor was the kind of development I want to bring to this estate, and then also put a reasonable development price to it. So that's Harmony Hills Estate that we are talking about. Now, you may be wondering what's the land title. The land title is freehold. We are currently processing our C of O with the Oyo State government, and once the C of O is out, obviously that the price of the land is going to be more than the 4.8 million naira. What are the advantages of Harmony Hills Estate? Because a client may be asking, what do I need Harmony for? Harmony Hills Estate is going to be one of the travel destinations. Okay, I will take our questions. Harmony Hills is going to be one of the travel destinations. Thank you. Harmony Hills is going to be one of the travel destinations of Ibadan, and this is going to be up in less than 5 to ID training in the come. Harmony Hills is going to be a travel destination. That's number one. Another thing is, okay, is it a buy and build? Yes, Harmony Hills is a buy and build. That's one of the benefits also. That's one of the beautiful things about Harmony Hills Estate. Harmony Hills Estate is a buy and build estate. As we even speak, we've even started perimeter fencing. We've started the work. We did clearing sometime last year, and majorly why we've not even started developing is because most of the people who bought the land, they bought for land banking purposes. That's what they bought the land for. But we have some of the acres that we've allotted for ourselves. So those are the those are the locations that we want to fully develop and then establish very well for the kind of development that we want to bring to Harmony Hills Estate. So these are the benefits that Harmony Hills Estate is going to be bringing to every investor And it is aside from the fact that it's a travel destination, is also a very valuable asset that a lot of persons need to own. A lot of investors also need to have in their own portfolio. Now, let's move on to when before we launch the estate, there are some acres that we introduce. Or let me not even say before we launch the estate, let me leave that part out of it. We are going to be introducing a bungalow project inside of Harmony Hills Estate. We are going to be introducing a bungalow project inside of Harmony Hills Estate, and this bungalow project is called Viviendas Residence. The Viviendas Residence. That's what we'll be introducing to Harmony Hills Estate. It's actually a very good one. We've been on the journey of wanting to introduce let me say mid-range affordable homes, but we can't actually do that in Lagos, because in Lagos cost of land alone is on the very high side. So we now sat down and thought of it and say, okay, where exactly can we do this? We looked at Ibadan market and say, okay, Ibadan is actually a good location where we are able to do this kind of establishment. So a lot of people would also want to move to that location, owing to the fact that it's even sharing very close proximity to the train station. So people working in Lagos can easily live in Ibadan and then take the train station to Lagos for work purposes. At the close of the day, take the train station back to Ibadan and have a very free life enjoyment in Ibadan. As we speak, you may be wondering if people really do things like that. Yes, they do things like that. I guarantee that they do things like that. Come all the way from Mowe to Lekki to work. If you look at the travel distance between Mowe to Lekki, I believe some persons even spend 4 to 5 hours on the road every single day. But if you are living in somewhere like Harmony Hills Estate, you are not waking up by 4 a.m. as much as you have to wake up by 4 a.m. when you are living in Mowe, because you want to come to work in Lagos and resume work by 9 a.m. But if you are living in Mowe, you have to wake up by 4 a.m. But in Harmony Hills Estate, the story is different. I think the train station leaves by 8 a.m. So you can still have your sleep up until 7 a.m. and then prepare yourself in 30 minutes and head on to the train station. The train, I think train leaves by 7:40 or so. So in another 1 hour 40 minutes, you're already in Lagos. That's saving you the stress that you're going to be spending in traffic. How many of us have tried the train station from Lagos to Ibadan before? If you've tried it, let me see you do a thumbs up. How's the experience? How's the experience, ma'am?
Oh, it was very nice. It was smooth on time, and just
Thank
like
you.
nothing happens it. Yeah.
You won't even feel it as though you are moving. That's one of the things I love about the train. You won't even feel it as though you are moving. And before you know it, you're already in Lagos. And you can from there, just probably if your office is still in Lekki, then you take a very short distance in another 10-15 minutes. You're already in Lekki, you're in your office and all that. That makes a lot of sense. So these are some of the advantages that people who will be owning their homes in Harmony Hills will be benefiting from. Because when you look at it, people travel is a travel. Let's not even look at it in two ways. That's a travel distance between Mowe, because people come from Mowe to Lekki every day, every single day for work purposes. The state I'm from, Bayelsa to Delta State, is not even up to 4 hours distance travel. I think in 2 hours you have traveled from Bayelsa to Delta State. If you want to travel from Bayelsa to Port Harcourt, in 2 hours 30 minutes you're already in Port Harcourt. But in Lagos, in fact, from mainland to island, you may be spending up to 3 hours because of the heavy traffic and all that. So this is one of the advantages of owning a home in Harmony Hills Estate. So we have different types of bungalow projects that we will be introducing. We have the 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalows that comes with BQ. We have 3-bedroom fully detached bungalows that comes with BQ, 3-bedroom semi-detached duplexes that comes with BQ, and then 4-bedroom fully detached duplexes. We are also going to be having 5-bedroom fully detached townhomes and penthouses. However, we are starting with the bungalow project. That's what we'll be introducing to the market. We've not launched it yet, but I'm actually saying this so that you get to know that a project like this is actually coming up. So if you have a client that is looking at doing bungalow projects or owning a bungalow project, that's something that you can as well relate to us, and we'll take it up from here. Now, let's talk about ownership structure. In Harmony Hills Estate, we've made ownership very easy in a way that investors are able to make a deposit payment and then spread the balance in 6 months, in 12 months, or in 18 months. This is for the land alone. We are not talking about the building project, right? And also the building project, we've not attached pricing yet to it. I think we've attached pricing, but management have not concluded on that. Once we conclude, we'll definitely announce it to everyone, right? So we have various pricing for a very structured payment plan for Harmony Hills Estate. For the 300 square meters, you're able to make a deposit payment of 200,000 and then spread the balance in 6 months, in 12 months, or in 18 months. For the 500 square meters, same thing. For the 600 square meters, the same thing. Then we have a offer where you buy 6 plots of land, which is 1 acre, and you get 1 acre for free. And that's selling at 24 million naira. Then if you're to make an initial deposit, that will be 5 million, and then you spread the balance in 3 months, in 6 months, or 12 months, or 18 months. So we are actually very big on ease of ownership for our investors. We are very, very big on ease of ownership for our investors. So that's that on that for Harmony Hills Estate. Let's move on to the next project in line, which is also still in Ibadan. I want to touch on all our projects in Ibadan, then we'll now talk on Lagos, and we'll now move to Ogun State. Now, the next project to discuss on this evening is Ileri Residence. Ileri Residence. I know we spoke a little about this when we had the 3 days accelerator program. We discussed a little about this. Now, Ileri Residence is a 4-bedroom, fully detached duplex that comes with a BQ. And we are going to be doing keys handovers this week. We ought to hold that on Thursday, but the MD is having a very important meeting on Thursday, so we are shifting it to Friday this week. And I'm also looking at having an opportunity where 1, 2, or 3 of our partners that were present in the accelerator program will also join us to the meeting to the key handover this week, Friday. We are going to be using the train station, so that will also be an avenue for you to experience the train if you've not experienced it before. And if you're interested, just notify us and we'll take it up from there. So Ileri Residence is a 4-bedroom, fully detached duplex that comes with a BQ. Now, this is located in the heart of Ibadan. It's located in the heart of Ibadan. Now, when I say the heart of Ibadan, it's located in Jericho GRA. Jericho GRA. Jericho is more like the Lekki, or let me not say the Ikoyi, but let me say the Lekki of Ibadan, because of course it's a very, very eyebrow location. You have the commissioner of police in Jericho GRA. You have the former governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu, inside of Jericho GRA. As a matter of fact, Ileri Residence is just about 5 minutes walk distance if you want to take a walk from Ileri residence to Akeredolu's house is about 5 minutes walk distance. Then if you are driving, is about 2-3 minutes drive distance. So that's to tell you that it's not even very far. So they share very close proximity. And we also have some other high personnel persons living in Jericho GRA, specifically where this project is located. Now, I want to play a video for us so that we are able to see the property. I want us to see the project. If you can see the video, kindly do a thumbs up. All right, awesome. So you can see the gatehouse. You can see it has a gatehouse. Then the middle, it has we have a common area for everyone. I had to pause the video because I want to explain something. The middle, you have a common area for everyone where everybody is able to come in from the gatehouse and then have access to their individual houses and all that. That's how everyone actually is. And each and every of them is a fully detached unit. So if you take a look at where my cursor is, you will see that this person's compound is able to park at most 2 to 3 cars, depending on how big the car is. So the compound is able to park at most 2 to 3 cars, and each and every of them will be having low fence. You understand? That's one of the benefits that comes with the property or the project. Each and every of the houses are having low fences. So if you say, okay, you want to increase your fence, you might want to discuss with the management so that management is able to take down. But that will actually defeat the beauty of the project. The beauty of the project is for everywhere to be similar in function and all that. So each and every of the apartments is having their own big spacious compound. Another good thing about this project is that the BQ is outside of the project, is outside of the property. So when you enter inside the compound from here, you will have to go from the back to the BQ. So for people who don't want, let's say people that are working with them to share same area with them, you will see that from this project you're able to have access to the back, to the BQ from the back as against from the front itself. All of these things are very important so that when you're explaining it to your customers, to your clients, you're able to explain it very well. So let's move further with the video. So you can see how spacious the compounds are. Okay, this is also another view that I love so much. You can see how spacious the compounds are. The compounds can comfortably take 2 to 3 cars. Comfortably can take 2 to 3 cars. Then also at the back of the compound, you can also do 1 or 2 creative things there. Maybe if you are somebody that loves sitting outside, you want to create some sort of very creative area where you're able to sit outside with the family and things like that. You can also put that at the back and things like that. We have currently developed 5 units. We have 5 other units coming up at the other side. So when you enter inside of the compound, by the left hand side we've developed 5 units. Then by the right hand side we are currently also developing 5 other units, but those ones are still at off plan stage. Let me say carcass level, lintel currently as we speak. So let's move further with the video. So what are the features of Ileri residence? I want to quickly touch on the features of Ileri residence because this is very, very important. This is very, very important for our marketing. One of the important features of Ileri residence is that it has a smart lock. Now we integrated it in a way that will help people who are Nigerians in the diaspora to come back home and have a feel of those kind of luxury experience in Illeri residence. One of the features of Illeri residence is that it has a modern living room. The living room is very, very spacious. Unfortunately, I don't have that picture here on the slide. If not, I would have shown us how spacious the living room looks like. Then it also have a play area at the back where you're able to do one or two playing. There's also going to be CCTV surveillance in the project. There is going to be CCTV surveillance. There is smart access control. I've mentioned that as well. Then there will be treated water. Now, health is very, very important. We know our investors are people that don't like to joke with their health. So their health is one of the things I will prioritize. So water has been treated, and this is actually a plus for every investor that's coming on board. Now, let's talk about the pricing. Illeri residence is sold at 250 million naira, and initial deposit is 50 million. You can spread the balance in 3 months, in 6 months. 6 months, maximum of 12 months. I'm not sure we are open to 12 months for the developed units, but we are open to 12 months for the other units that are coming up. So, which are the 5 other units by the right side. So, we are open to develop installment payment up to 12 months for those units that are coming up. Now, there is a very, very important thing that I want you to do for a project like this in Illeri residence. Sorry, for a project like this in Ibadan, which is Illeri residence, selling at 250 million naira. I need you to categorize the kind of clients that is able to buy this property. I know that the MD did that exercise when we were in the when we were at the hangout on Saturday, but I need you to do this very, very importantly, because when you start marketing it out there, you're able to now put it out to the right audience. You now know that, okay, this is not a project that I will just come to my WhatsApp status and post. This is a project that I have to talk to somebody, talk to them one-on-one. I have to introduce it to them one-on-one. Who are the type of people that can buy Illeri residence? Number one, diaspora investors. Nigerians in the diaspora. Nigerians in the diaspora. If you are writing that, let me see you do a thumbs up. If you are writing that, let me see you do a thumbs up. Nigerians in the diaspora. Now, not just anyhow kind of Nigerian in the diaspora. Nigerians in the diaspora probably looking to retire back home. So there are people that have lived all their life abroad and they're looking for a very quiet, calm location where they retire back to. Harmony Hills, sorry, Illeri residence is that type of project that they can also retire back to. Now, another type of Nigerian in the diaspora are the young Nigerians, let's say tech bros, tech sis, people in the banking sector, in the diaspora, that are looking to buy property for their parents. Still on the road? Okay, I got that, Frank. Now, these are people that are looking to buy properties for their parents. You understand? So, based on the fact that they are looking to buy property for their parents, they want a very good, serene, segregated location where their parents can live in. This is also a good project that you can introduce to them. Then another set of Nigerians in the diaspora that you want to introduce it to are those ones that are buying properties for prestige. They just want to say, oh, I own this property in a highbrow location in Ibadan. Do you know one of the prestigious things about Illeri residence? Illeri residence is sharing very close proximity to Ibadan Golf Club. So, of course, a Nigerian in the diaspora can buy that project for their parents that have probably retired, that are still playing golf. So, they are living close to the golf area. You understand? And what does that actually do for them? It gives them proximity to high net worth individuals. So, rich people always want to live within a location that is sharing proximity to their kind. Take note of this. The wealthy people live within proximities of their kind. So any location that takes them away from their kind, they don't want to go there. They don't want to be in those type of locations. They want to be in locations where they are able to have access to their kind. They are able to have easy access. Why do you think people are buying properties in Ikoyi? Some people are buying properties in Ikoyi because of prestige. They just want to boast to their friend that I have this property in Ikoyi. It's just for the prestige. Some people are buying it for proximity. Some people that have access, some people that know this secret, they are buying it so that they are able to have access to some kind of network, probably because of the kind of business that they are doing. The business that they are doing requires that they have access to high, ultra high network type of individuals. So they want to put themselves in those type of position. So it is now in your place as a realtor, as a salesperson, to be able to identify the kind of clients that you are dealing with and then position the property in a way that is going to suit them. Now, when I was reading today, I know I've come across this thing before, but I had to write it down again because I said I'm going to discuss it in our meeting this evening. One of the things that one of the things that your marketing should do for you, one of the things that your marketing should do for you is to be able to get the attention of your investors. Number two, to get their interest. Number three, to get their desire to buy. And then number four, moves should be able to streamline what we call AIDA, AIDA, AIDA. Now, your marketing should center around AIDA. Number one, in the AIDA, what it means is attention. Number two, interest. Number three, desire. And then the fourth one is action. Let your marketing of Illeri residents be able to get their attention. Now, how do you get their attention? You ask very reasonable questions that will give you feedback on the next line of action that you want to take. Ask questions to arouse their desire. Ask questions to arouse their desires. The next thing is the interest. Now, how you position Illeri residents is going to really go far with the way they will be interested in the property. Some persons, by the time you are presenting Illeri residents to them, they will tell you, oh, that 250 million naira that I want to invest in Ibadan, why not me investing it in an apartment in Lagos? When you come across an objection like that, how do you handle it? How do you handle that kind of objection? An objection where a client is telling you that 250 million naira, if I use it to buy 4-bedroom fully detached duplex in Ibadan, I can invest that same money in an apartment in Lagos and it will give me high turnover. You already know that type of client is not the type of client that you want to pitch this property to, because what that client is talking about is return on investment. A project like Illeri Residence is not a project you are using return on investment to go as direction to close on that client. No, you are not using that as the direction for that client. The direction you are using are for Nigerians in the diaspora that are looking for peace of mind, that are looking for a place to retire back home to, or they want to buy property for their parents where their parents are able to live in a secure and serene environment. Of course, it's real estate. The asset price is going to appreciate in value. We know that very well. But for another client, that client may be looking at returns on investment. So you need to know what will get their attention and also to arouse their interest. Then the next thing is desire. What do they desire to do with the property? Are they looking at savings? Are they looking at return on investment, which I just mentioned? Are they looking at to regain time for their for regain to buy back time for the amount of work that they've done? So these are things that you want to do. And then the next thing is to help them to take action. So when are you paying? Are you paying this week? Are you paying next week? Are you paying next 2 weeks? I was watching one of my role models, one of his trainings. I was in one of his trainings rather, and he was saying that a realtor who is unable to ask for the money will forever remain broke. If you're ask for you will you will remain broke. If you're unable to ask for the money, you will remain broke. Because if you want to make more money, remember I said earlier on, if you want to make more money, you have to sell more. If you want to make more money, you have to sell more. It requires that you have to be out there more. So if you're unable to ask for the money as a salesperson, you will forever remain broke. But your ability to ask for the money will keep you at the edge of your game. It will keep you at the top of your game. So ask for the money. Put yourself in a position where you're able to ask them, when are you paying? When do you want to make the deposit? Are you making your deposit today? Are you making your deposit tomorrow? When do you want to pay? Okay, let me draft a offer letter and share with you. In your offer letter, you can put a time frame to it. This offer lasts for only 1 week, so that you know that they have only 1 week for them to think about what they want to think about for that particular project. Are we learning something this evening? If you're learning something, let me see you do a thumbs up. Let me see you type out in the chat box, I'm gaining value. I'm gaining value. Let me see you type out in the chat box, I'm gaining value. The room is cold this evening. Is the rain affecting you all? Is the rain affecting you? All right, awesome. Now let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next project. Let's move on to the next project. Adebayo Steven said, just joined. Okay, awesome. You're welcome. Unique Home said, I'm gaining value. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. You're welcome. All right, awesome. Now I'm going to open up the rooms for questions and answers. So take note of your questions. We'll take them one after the other. If you've from what we just discussed about Illyri residents, if you've been able to identify who to sell to, let me see you do a thumbs up. Let me see you do a thumbs up. All right, beautiful. Then another set of persons that you might want to pitch to are institutional investors. Institutional investors. These are people that buys properties and actually use it as a reward for some of their staffs, high-flying staffs. So they want to buy the project and then give it to their high-performing staffs, use it as a reward for them. So you can also position Illyri residents as that type of offer for them. Now let's move on to the next project, which is the Goldmark residence. So now we've discussed about Harmony Hills Estate and Illyri residence, two of our major projects in Ibadan. The next project we are discussing about is the Goldmark residence. The Goldmark residence. Now, take a look at the screen. When you look at the screen, you will see two parts to it. You will see the part on the left is the block C and the D, block C and D. And then when you look at this side, this other side where you have Goldmark inscribed on the property, this is the utility building. And then right behind the utility building, we have the block A, and then next to it is the block B. I think this other screen is going to show it much more better. Awesome, awesome. Amazing. So the front building, if you can see my cursor, this building here is the utility building. The next one right behind it is block A, and then the other one is block B. Then next to it is block C and also blocks D. Now, the Goldmark residence is a premium development, one of our novel developments in Lagos State, Nigeria. When I say novel development, I'm talking about building projects. It's one of our novel building projects in Lagos, Nigeria. We have other estates that we've sold out on. Ibudo, which is located in Ekpe, is sold out. Penfield Estate, also located in Ibejuleki, is also sold out. So these are projects that we've done in the past. Now, Goldmark Residence is a premium development by FIPS Real Estate Development Company, comprising of 4 units of 3-bedroom fully detached, 3-bedroom penthouses that comes with a BQ, and 36 units of 2-bedroom apartments. 36 units of 2-bedroom apartments and 4 units of 3-bedroom penthouses that comes with a BQ. That totals it all to 40 units of apartments that we are developing in the Goldmark residence. Now, if you look at this picture, the block A, the utility building, and the block B have been built already. And each of these blocks, we have 6 units of 2-bedroom apartments currently built and is standing as we speak. 6 units of 2-bedroom apartments built and already delivered. Now, I think I have the raw images of how it used to look like. There's this video I want us to watch. Let's take a look at this video. This is a video of how Goldmark residence used to look like. This is a video of how Goldmark residence used to look like. So these 2 buildings you're seeing here, these are the block A and the block B. Then right next to it, just beside the block A, that's the utility block. If you can see my cursor, that's what is showing there. Then there is something amazing I want to point out to us in this video. If you look at this top part, this area that is very bluish in nature, this is the beach. That's the Legushi beach you're seeing there. That's the Legushi beach. So you can see that the Goldmark residence is sharing very close proximity to this place. And mind you, this video was done some years ago. So I want you to know that Goldmark has gone past this level. This video was made some years ago, I think about 2 years ago. Yeah, that's how this building was that time. So I want you to actually see that. And Coastal Road is also passing by somewhere around here. It's not affecting the Goldmark residence in any way. The Goldmark residence is also about, let's say, 5-7 minutes walk distance from the Coastal Road to Goldmark residence. If you check this place, you will see one white sand around this place. Can you see my cursor? Can you see my cursor? If you can see my cursor, kindly indicate. There is one white sand around this place. This was when they were doing the sand fill of the coastal road. So you can see where the coastal road is passing through. That's where we have the coastal road, and is sharing close proximity to the Goldmark residence. So this is also a picture of how it used to look like. And now this is how the Goldmark residence is. This is how it is for each of the units. This is how it looks like as we speak. This is how Goldmark actually looks like. So this is to tell you that we are a company that actually puts in efforts to deliver on every of our promise. If we say we are doing this, we are doing it. Now, this is our destination for the Goldmark residence. This is the destination that we are going. We want a fully detached, a fully fledged project. This is the utility building. You will see the video will go in now, and it's going to show the parking area as well. Admin, Gift, if you're able to share this video as well, the 3D video to the group, please do look at the parking lot. You can see the parking lot and how the compound is going to be. So this is how Goldmark is going to be. This is the vision we have for the Goldmark residence. Now let's talk about the proximities, because of course these are very, very important and vital things in marketing, right? Let's talk about the proximities. Then we'll now talk about who Goldmark residence is meant for. How do you sell Goldmark residence, and where to meet them, where to target them, and all that. Now, proximities of the Goldmark residence. Number one, you have Elevation Church, the headquarters of the Elevation Church. I'm a proud member of the Elevation Church, so I can actually boldly mention it as one of the proximities. So it's even a good thing for people that are members of Elevation Church. You can easily reside in the Goldmark residence, maybe lodge there for 1 or 2 nights, and then go over to church probably on Wednesday or something like that. So that's one of the major landmarks. Another major landmark is Covenant Christian Center. How many of us know Pastor Boju in this call? How many of us know Pastor Boju? So Pastor Boju's Lekki expression is also sharing close proximity to the Goldmark residence. Then another very Please, can this recording be shared with us? I'm not sure. I don't know if the team is recording this. However, if it's being recorded, we'll share it with you. But it's important you're in the meeting, like, so that you're able to ask questions and all that. And also people are able to still revisit. So obviously I would discuss with the team to ensure that we get the session recorded. Now, the another very close proximity to the Goldmark residence is Blenko Supermarket. Blenko Supermarket is just facing Lekki Ede Expressway. So if you know Shisco, if you by the time you pass Shisco and move forward a little, you see Blenko Supermarket. So the road directly beside Blenko Supermarket, that's the last one. So you move inside of that, you enter into that road, you go straight down. I think the third or the fourth turn by your right, that you now take that turn, which is into Alaji Akoni Street in Elason. That's where Goldmark residence is located. Another close proximity is Elegushi Beach. Then we also have LSPDC Estate. We have Horizon Estate in that location also. Then there's also a major security station that is located in that place. I can't really remember the name of the security guys there now. I think it's one of these Lagos State security agencies that they have their office also located in that particular area. Now, these are the proximities of Goldmark residence. What are the features of Goldmark residence? Goldmark residence is going to be having a gym. It's going to have a gym center. We're going to have a lounge area. There's going to be not a private pool, but there will be a swimming pool. It's going to be at the back of Block D. So there's going to be a swimming pool as well. There's also ample parking space for each and every tenant that's going to be occupying it, because majorly it's going to be used for shortlets. So there's going to be at most 2 to 3 parking lots for the people that will be residents in the Goldmark residence. One other feature of the Goldmark residence is that you're able to have access to a private lift. In the Block A and Block B, we don't have lifts for those ones, but in the Block C and D, which are the bigger units, we are having a lift for it, and the lift is actually streamlined. The lift is streamlined. It's going to be private access. So if where you're living is the first floor, you're only going to have access to the first floor. You won't have access to the second floor except you're given a particular code or something. So it's a private lift. So you use a card to access the lift, take you up to your particular location and all that. If it's the 10th floor that you're living, the lift also takes you to the 10th floor, and that's the only floor you're able to have direct access to and all that. Now, the pricing for the Goldmark residence, I know that's the next question in mind. So what's the price for the Goldmark residence? The units that we've developed already, the Block A and the Block B, the pricing right now as we speak is 152 million residents. In Goldmark residence, are clients buying in blocks? Let me see if I can quickly take that question. Are clients buying blocks or flats from the building? Yes. So you are buying an apartment inside of the building. You are buying an apartment inside of the building, and one apartment is currently selling at 152 million naira. 152 million naira. I'm going to show you how a client can make back his 152 million naira in 5 or 10 years. I will give you that example so that we are able to have that as part of the knowledge session. Now, for the off-plan units, off-plan unit is currently selling at 100 million naira, 99.9 million. How many bedrooms? 2 bedrooms precisely. So we have 36 units of 2-bedroom apartments and 4 units of 3-bedroom penthouses that comes with a BQ. Right now, as we speak, we have developed 12 units, and we are also open to developing the remaining 24. Is it 24? Yeah, I think so. Yes, 24 units, which is in the Block C and the Block D. The units that we have now are the smaller units. The other units coming up, which is Block C and Block D, those are the bigger units. You understand? Those are the bigger units. So I need us to take note of these very, very importantly. Now, what type of people can really buy into the Goldmark residence? Types of people that can buy into the Goldmark residence. Number one, off-plan investors. off-plan investors. I need you to write this down. Off-plan investors. This set of persons are people that are not new to buying off-plan projects. In fact, they are the type of investors that always look for an opportunity to invest in an asset that is going to be coming up. That's what they do for a living. They just sit back, wait for a particular project that wants to come up. They invest their money into that project, wait for when the project is finished, they sell and then they make profits. Some of them don't even wait for the project to finish. By the time the project has achieved a particular milestone, they resell their units and then take profits. That's how they actually um, 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 exit a particular investment. That's how they exit a particular investment. Their major strategy is buy, hold a little, and resell for profits. We call that capital gains. We call that capital gains. Now, off-plan investing is one of those investment types that gives you opportunity for you to earn over 200% return on investment in a short while. Take it from me anywhere. I can boast of this any single day, any single time. People who buy into off-plan projects can make up to 200% returns on investment. Now, when I say 200%, you can make 200% return on investment. A practical example, let me give it to you. Now, when we started the Goldmark residence, at ideation stage, we want to do this project in this location. We've not even done foundation. We've not done any of those things. I think the introductory price at that time was it 60 million, either 40 or 60 million naira. I believe some of you even heard when the MD even mentioned it in the meeting on Saturday. Now, we had an investor that bought that project at that time without even doing anything. He gave us the money, and for somebody like him, for somebody like that type of investor, if he had to come back again, he had some financial issues and the rest, so we refunded him his money. But that was profit for us. There is also another investor that came on board when we started the project early that only bought his units, waited until we increased price after the project have achieved a particular milestone. I think when he sold was when we increased the price to 100 million, no, 80 million. So he bought at around 40, 60 million naira and waited till when the project had achieved a particular milestone and resold his own for 80 million naira. He resold his own for 80 million. Tell me what type of investment you want to do that's going to give you that type of capital gain in less than a year. Tell me what type of investment you want to do that's going to give you that type of turnover in less than a year. Now, for those there is also an investor that bought his unit at 80 million naira. That's one of my realtor, Khadija. She sold to one of our clients at 80 million naira. Right now, a unit of the Goldmark residence is selling at 152 million naira. And what I'm talking about, this person bought last year. Now a unit is selling for 152 million naira. Do you now agree with me that do you now agree with me that off-plan property is one of those investments that can give investors returns on investment within a short time, over 200%? If you agree with me, let me see you do a thumbs up. If you agree with me, type I agree in the chat box. If you agree with me, type I agree in the chat box. If you agree with me, type I agree. Now, you can see that if you want to start selling Goldmark residence, you are not just posting anyhow. That's the mindset shift I want you to have. You are not just posting anyhow. You are going to be very strategic with your marketing. You have to be very strategic with your marketing. So you will now need to look at your network and say, who is that investor that I have that would love to invest in off-plan projects? Sometimes you may not even have access to those type of people. What you now need to do is to educate them. This knowledge that you have now, you will now set your camera and talk into the camera and tell them off-plan project is a very good investment that will give them XYZ returns within a short period of time. You use Goldmark residence as case study. You use it as a case, like real case study, because we are not just giving you lumber. We are telling you facts. I am telling you facts. This is a fact that I have experienced realistically. My realtor, in fact, I trained her in real estate. You understand? I trained her in real estate. She was entirely new to real estate. I trained her, and one of their first ever deal that she closed in real estate was Goldmark. And I was also actively involved in that sales process. You understand? I think we had even increased Goldmark resident to 100 million that time, and we just increased the price that time. So when she introduced the Goldmark to our client, it was 80 million. So by the time the client was ready to make payments, price has already gone up to 100 million naira. So we had to now sit down in negotiation table and say, oh no, we were introduced this price before, we'd like to still buy it at this price and stuff like that. So we mediated with management and we're able to get that client a good deal. Now, that property is selling for 152 million naira. If that client wants to sell, if the client say, okay, my own exit strategy is to wait, get capital gains, and I pull out, he has already made more than, let's say, 80% of his investment. Do you agree with me? A project that is selling at 152 million and he bought at 80 million, he has made over 80% of his investment. You understand? So one of the people that you can sell Goldmark to is off-plan investors, because these people are looking for capital gains. That's what these people are looking for. Now, another type of people that you should market Goldmark to are people that are looking for short-let investment to do. Short-let investment. Now, another type of investors that you want to look at are investors that are actually very big on short-let investments. There are people that are looking for passive stream of income. Passive stream of income. Now, who are this set of people? You want to ask. They are also diasporans. Nigerians in the diaspora. They are number one targets for people that wants to buy off-plan property. Number two targets are C-suite executives. You want to write that down, C-suite executives. C-suite executives. Now, where do you see these people? You see these people in the bank. You see this set of people in oil and gas. You see this set of people in tech also. Then another set of people you want to look at are MDs, CEOs. MDs and CEOs. There are also institutional investors that buys these units in bulk and give it to their staff members to live in them. They lease properties like this, and they buy properties, they own properties like this, and then give it out to other people to invest. Then there are also institutional investors that buys properties like this in bulk and lease it out to organizations. They lease it out to organizations. So that's also their own model of investment. So the set of people that you want to target when marketing Goldmark residence are number one. Number one, what? If you are there, unmute your mic and then speak. Set of persons you can sell Goldmark residence to. Number one.
Off-plan investors.
Off-plan investors. Number two. I need somebody else. Number two.
People in diaspora.
People in the diaspora, Nigerians in the diaspora. Number three, I mentioned C-suite executives as well. Then I've mentioned MDs of banks. MDs of banks. You also have C-suite executives in oil and gas. The reason why I'm very specific like this is because I want you to now go back and evaluate who you are marketing it to, so that you are not just posting it randomly in your WhatsApp status and expecting magic to happen. Of course, if you post it, it will create visibility and awareness for you. But the kind of people that will buy this property, they are most likely, except you have HNIs in your network. I'm not underrating anybody on this call. Every one of us are high value realtors, right? But except you have HNIs in your network, your WhatsApp that you are posting it, you may most likely not get the right buyer for it. So sometimes what you want to do is to draft a proposal, draft a proposal and take it to the bank and say you want to have a meeting with the MD of the bank, and you propose and you send that proposal and you give the MD that proposal. Sometimes it's your network or somebody you know that is working in oil and gas that you want to take that proposal to and say, how far I get this property, I won't carry and give one or two person with the management level for your company. These are the level of conversations that you should be having, not just posting randomly on your WhatsApp status, because of course your WhatsApp status will give you visibility. It will tell people it will tell your power base that, okay, this person have this type of property is selling. But if you want to close out on deals like this, you would have to, except, please quote me right, except you have HNIs in your network already, then WhatsApp is good. But if not, these are the type of properties that you might want to write a proposal for. Sometimes you can even reach out to us and say, Mr. Abel, please, I want to go to a meeting with XYZ MD. I need you to follow me. I'll be glad. I will follow you to that meeting. Remember, I mentioned I helped one of my realtor to close out on a deal, a unit of the Goldmark residence. You understand? So if you have such kind of meetings, you can call me for those meetings. Remember, at the early stages of the meeting this evening, I told you that one of my clients, one of my realtor is having a meeting with a client, and he also told me what the client wants, and I was also in that meeting. You understand? So over here, we don't just give you properties to go and sell. We also guide you in the process of being able to sell the property. I think that's one of the advantages that's one of the benefits of working with us as a company. Now, another set of persons that you want to um pitch the Goldmark residence to. Okay, I think I've talked about institutional investors where they buy properties in bulk and then give it out to staff members, or they lease it out to other companies for them to occupy all of those spaces. Where do you meet this set of persons? Where do you meet them? Number one, you have to be big on your digital ads. Be big on digital adverts so that you're able to target Nigerians in the diaspora that are looking for short-let investments to do. Because Nigerians in the diaspora, they would rather invest in Nigeria than invest their money elsewhere. Let's be very honest. I know that they have some areas where they are not so sure of. They have areas of clarity. They are very, very uncertain, particularly about Lagos real estate, where you can see that somebody will buy a property today and tomorrow the government is demolishing it. But your relational level of closeness with that client will now help you close out on that sale on a very fast pace. Are we learning something this evening? If you're learning something, let me see you type out, I'm getting value. Let me see you type out, I'm getting value. Awesome. Thank you so much. So, where do you meet these people? Number one, be big on digital marketing. Be big on digital marketing. If in this current day and age, as a salesperson, you don't have a marketing budget, I'm sorry, you cannot compete with the high-flying realtors. Let me put it that way to you. Remember earlier in this meeting, I said not everybody in this call are also of the same level. One of the things that will even make other people to be in a higher level than the other person is their own exposure and how they treat the real estate business. So if you treat real estate as a business and not just as a side gig, you are able to understand and relate to what I am mentioning to you now. So be big on digital marketing. Be big on digital marketing. I'm saying this again. Be big on digital marketing. If you don't want to play small in real estate, play small in real estate, be big on digital marketing. I have one of my developer friend that before he became a developer, when he was a realtor, he was closing high-end properties and all of those things. When I sat down with him to ask him, because I know he became very famous on Instagram, right? Became very famous. So I asked him, bro, on how much do you spend annually on marketing alone? Do you know what he told me? He said on a yearly basis, he spends up to 15 million naira. 15 million naira when it comes to marketing. That's even when he was not a developer. When he has not started developing properties, he spends 15 million naira on digital ads. He is very popular. If I mention his name, you will know him. If I mention his name, you will know him. Should I mention the name? Should I mention the name? If I get 2 thumbs up, I will mention the name. All right, beautiful. How many of us know the CEO of Edala Homes? How many of us know the CEO of Edala Homes? The CEO of Edala Homes. Before they became developers, they were spending 15 million naira in digital marketing. So if you want to be big, if you want to play big and not play small, if you want to play big and not play small, you have to be big on digital marketing, because that's how you're able to compete with the markets. That's how you're able to compete, because now people will say the market is saturated, but even inside of the saturated market, people are still selling. People are still selling. Today, I had a meeting with one of my realtor that have a client in the diaspora that wants to also buy Goldmark residence. People are still selling. You are saying the market is saturated. You are saying the market is saturated, but people are still selling. So if you want to play big, if you don't want to play small in real estate, you have to be big on digital marketing. Another one, another way to reach out to this set of persons that I mentioned before that you can sell to is by registering for HNI clubs. I know this is not for everybody now, right? It's for the people that are able to afford it. But if you are unable to afford it, at least register for some clubs that you know that you can pay for. There are some clubs that their annual membership fee is 100,000 naira. Pay for those clubs. Pay for tennis clubs. Pay for padel clubs. Pay for I wanted to say golf club. Golf is like, but it's not expensive, right? It's not expensive because you want to target a particular market, right? So these are things that are not expensive. Sometimes you even want to go to the club. Like when I say club, you want to go to the nice club. Yes, you want to go to the nice club. I know this may not sound very okay for some of us here, because for some persons we came from very traditional homes. For me, somebody like me, I grew up in Redeem, and if my mom even hears me saying this thing, she will look at me with one eye like this. But of course, that's what the market deserves, or that's what the market is demanding. You understand? Sometimes I take myself out to a particular location just because I want to network. In the club, people are burning the money that they will use to buy Goldmark residence, and they will not feel it. If you agree with me, do a thumbs up. If you agree with me, do a thumbs up. In the club, people spend 150 million naira buying bottles, buying drinks, and they don't feel it. They don't feel it. So if you don't go to I'm not saying you should go to the club, but but there is a balance to these things, right? If you don't go to these places, how do you meet with these people? How do you now offer this value to these people? Because let me be very honest with you, your next commission is in the pocket of your client. Your next big commission is in the bank account of your client. You want to write it down. Your next big commission is in the pocket of your client. Your next big commission is in the bank account of your client. So now you have to position yourself in a place where you are able to get that money from them. Your goal is to get the money. I love what Mrs. Tokbe said when we had the physical meeting on Saturday. She said one of our biggest interests in real estate is to make money. Let's not deceive ourselves. Everybody is in business to make money. You want to be rich. You're tired of the kind of life you're living, or even if you're comfortable with the kind of life you're living, you want to make extra income for yourself. That's why you're in the real estate sector. So you have to ask for the money. If you don't ask for the money, you will remain broke. One of the biggest things I've ever done that I love so much about myself is to ask for the money. If I'm asking for if I'm having a conversation with a client, And in the middle of that conversation, I'll ask you, when are you paying? Are you paying today? Are you paying tomorrow? Are you paying next tomorrow? In fact, one of the things that we even do for me to be able to ask you for the money, I will send you the subscription form and I will give you a timeline to fill out the subscription form and return it. When I send the subscription form to you, I'll tell you, kindly return it back to me in the next 2 hours. So I'm able to send the account number to you, and then you make your payment. We start processing your documents. Be upfront. Be upfront. If you leave the conversation for the client, you will lose that client. The client will play with you. He will play tinko with you. But when you are upfront, it puts you in a place of advantage. By the time you're telling the client, okay, I'm sending the subscription form to you now, you can fill it out in the next 2-3 hours and return back to me so that we are able to send you the account number, you make your payment, and they will process your documents. By the time your payment comes in, you will get your acknowledgement of payment, you will get a receipt of purchase, and they will start preparing your contract of sale. When you finish your payment, we'll prepare your deed of assignment, and then we'll issue out your deed of assignment on our next allocation. You have to be upfront and ask for the money. Don't be afraid to ask for the money. Some of you, the reason why you're not closing out deals on time, you're not closing out deals back to back, is because you're not asking for the money. So put yourself in a position where you're able to ask for the money, and don't be ashamed about it. Be very bold about it. You understand? Be bold about it. I think I've stayed long enough on Goldmark residence. Let's now move on to the next property. I can see the questions coming up. I will take your questions. Now, there is something I wanted to also explain when it comes to the Goldmark residence. We are talking about the short let advantage, right? Now, I mentioned that I want to explain how an investor can make back his 152 million naira in a space of 5 to 10 years. Now, a unit of the Goldmark residence is currently selling at 152 million naira. And if you look at short-let market in Ikate axis of Lekki, short-let rentals of a two-bedroom apartment is averaging around 150 million. Sorry, 150,000 naira to 200,000 naira. Those of us that do short-let in the call, am I correct? Those of us that do short-let in the call, can you hear me? Hello, am I the only one on the call? If you do short-let rentals, let me see you give a thumbs up. If you do short-let rentals, okay, beautiful. Now I need us to be very practical. In Ikate axis, a two-bedroom apartment short-let rentals, how much is it per night? Two-bedroom apartment, well furnished, two-bedroom apartment, how much do you think it's going for per night? If you're unable to speak, you can type it out in the chat box. Okay, 150K. Your money said 150K. All right, so I'm still on track. Any other person? Any other pricing? So let's use 150K as the benchmark, right? Let's use 150K. Awesome. Gift said 150K. So let's use 150,000 naira as the benchmark per night. Now, remember there's also the peak period. Your 150,000 naira per night multiplied by let's say 20 nights in a month. I need somebody to do that mathematics for me. 150,000 times 20 nights. That's on an average of 20 nights, right? 150,000 times 20 nights. That will give us how much?
3 million.
Okay, so that will give us 3 million. Awesome. Awesome. That will give us 3 million naira on a monthly basis. And this is dependent on if your apartment is well decorated. So it depends on the amenities that you put in your apartment. You are able to even do it at more than 150 million per night. But we are just using 150 million as the benchmark, right? So 3 million naira, if you multiply 3 million times 12 months, how much would that give you? 3 million times 12. How much would that give you?
That's 36.
So that's 36 million naira. So 36 million naira, if you multiply that by 5 years, if you multiply 36 million naira by 5 years, how much would that give you?
180.
180 million.
Awesome. So do you see that an investor that bought Goldmark residence at 152 million naira, in 5 years, he can make more than the amount he used to buy it from rentals alone. From rentals, short-let rentals. So from short-let rentals, that investor is able to make his money back in 5 years. Now, we've not factored capital appreciation to it because, of course, that property will not remain 152 million naira for 5 years. Imagine in just 2 years of development, the property is already, it moved from 40 million to 152 million. So imagine in another 5 years, how much would that actually be? Are you getting my point? Please, that thing is affecting me here. Thank you. So you can see that an investor is able to make more than the amount he got. Now, the 180 million, I know we've not removed the working expenses, probably managing your apartment, because of course you can have some crazy tenants that will come into your apartment and spoil one or two things. So you can add all of those expenses into your pricing. Then the people that's going to also manage the apartment for you, let's say the cleaners and the restocking of the house with some of the basic things to keep it up to the trends. And all of those things can actually come in. And if you are averaging it, let's say you are able to make around, let's say 140 million and things like that. But obviously, from short-let rentals alone, you are able to make your money back in 5 years. Now, this is a very big secret that you need to know. This is a big secret that you need to know when having conversation with investors, because these are the things that you are telling them to get their what? Their desire. Remember the AIDA secret, the AIDA sales system that I mentioned. AIDA: attention, interest, desire, and action. What I just said now, I know it got the attention of some of you, that in 5 years, somebody is able to make his money back. And that can also serve as a content strategy for you. You can come to the Goldmark residence, make a video and say, this is the Goldmark residence currently selling at 152 million naira, a prime development that's able to give you your initial capital back in 5 years. And you do your analysis. Do you think people will not be interested in it? People will be interested. So these are secrets that you also need to know when pitching the Goldmark residence to investors. Now, understand that there are clients that will love this type of investment. So you need to know what they want and pitch it to them accordingly, so that you don't go and pitch a product that somebody wants to buy for family purposes when you're supposed to be selling a lady residence, you are marketing Goldmark to them. You will lose that client. So that is that for that. I will obviously take questions. Let's move on to the next project that we have currently selling. Now, the next project we have on ground is Rootland Farms and Resorts. Please, you can start typing out your questions in the chat box so that Gift is able to take the questions. You read out the questions and I'll answer them. You can type out the questions when it's time. If you are able to unmute your mic, you can also unmute your mic and ask your questions when it's time as well. Now, Rootland Farms and Resorts is one of our prime developments that we brought into the market. That was in December 2025. We introduced Rootland Farms and Resorts into the market. Now, our prime aim of introducing Rootland Farms was to also give investors opportunity to diversify their portfolio. Now, why am I saying this? Excuse me. Okay, so why am I saying this? Now, we have a scenario where we have a lot of our investors that have bought into building projects. They've bought land banking projects as well. And then they are like, okay, we want to diversify our portfolio into some other type of investment. So those requests were one of the things that helped or that geared us into establishing Rootland Farms and Resorts. When we even introduced Rootland Farms and Resorts, we didn't even put it out to the general market. We started from our current existing network of customers. We first introduced it to them and say, okay, based off of the fact that you've bought property from us before, we are now introducing this one to you as well. And we got quite a number of them that actually came on board before we now brought it out to the public for our realtors and partners also to invest. Now, Rootland Farms and Resorts is a farm estate located in Ijebu-Igbo in Ijebu-Igbo and Ijebu-Ife of Ogun State. So we have two locations for Rootland Farms and Resorts. We have in Ijebu-Igbo and Ijebu-Ife. Now we have majorly acres that we are selling. We're only selling in acres and hectares. The reason why we're selling in acres and hectares is so that we are able to do a commercially viable farmland. We're able to do commercially viable farmland. Every Friday, we usually have investors meeting where we educate investors on oil palm investments, educate them on rubber tree investment and things like that. And I would like for you guys also to be present in that meeting this week, Friday. Admin, please remind me on that so that we're able to share the meeting link as well to our partners so they join the meeting. Now, what we basically do in those type of meetings are those are meetings for investors. You understand? So those meetings are actually meetings where we educate them, let them know about Rootland Farms and Resorts, tell them about the industry itself, the market, and how they are able to stand out from all of those. Now, two benefits of owning Rootland Farms and Resorts. Number one, it gives the opportunity for you to earn passive stream of income. Number two, it gives you an avenue for you to own a tangible asset because you own the land. The company is only farming on the land for you. Now, the title of the land is freehold. Freehold means that it is free from any government encumbrance. It is free from any government encumbrance. So it means that we bought the land directly from the customary owners, which are the kingship and all of that. So those are the persons who bought the land from. We are currently processing our agric C of O, and that will be out shortly. And once that is out, the projected pricing for Rootland Farms is even at 10 million naira and the likes. So right now is also an opportunity for investors to come on board at the current pricing that we are selling. Right now, Rootland Farms and Resort is selling at 5.5 million naira. I thought this was updated in the slide. So the pricing is 5.5 million, not 3.5, please. So oil palm cluster alone is currently selling at 5.5 million naira, and that's all inclusive price. It covers for the cost of the land, covers for the planting, covers for farm labor, covers for insurance. Insurance is very, very important, and also covers for documentation, which is your deed of assignment and your survey. In 1 acre of land, what do I get? 1 acre of land, what do I get? You get 60 oil palm trees and you get 450 plantain trees. You get 60 oil palm trees and you get 450 plantain trees. And from the oil palm trees alone, you are able to make as high as 5 million to 7 million naira. That's as much as what you can be earning. For the plantain itself, you can be earning as high as 1 million to 2.1, 2.2 million and the likes, depending on how much it is being sold at the market value at that point in time. Now, I'd really implore you all to join the investors meeting so that you're able to get more knowledge about the oil palm sector in general and all that. Now, the rubber trees, rubber cluster is also selling at 6.5 million. Apologies about the pricing that's shown on your screen. The price is 6.5 million. Gifts, if you can help me share that in the group, I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. The pricing for the rubber cluster is 6.5 million. And what do you get in the rubber cluster? You get 320 rubber trees and you also get 450 plantain trees. We are planting 9 by 9 meters triangular format. 9 by 9 meters triangular format, so that the both commodities are able to grow simultaneously and all that. Now, there is also something very important that I want to share with us. It's updated on the group. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, there is something very important that I want to share with us. This is the earnings. Now, how do investors get to earn from Rootland Farms and Resorts? From the very first year, please don't mind this total that is here. The price is 5.5. When do they germinate? Yes, that's what I'm actually going to talk about like right now. So the price is 5.5 and 6.5. Now, the germination period for each and every of these commodities, oil palm, rubber trees. Now, the plantain itself starts growing from the very first year. So in 9, 10, 11 months, you can start harvesting your plantain trees. From your 11th month, you can start harvesting your plantain, and then your bunch of plantains to off-takers. Now, I need us to do a mathematics. You are seeing on the screen that from the first year, you're able to make 1.6 million. And also, please, I want us to know that these are projected revenue. So you can make more than this, and you can also make exactly this price, or you can make less than this. These are projected revenue. The reason why we are saying projected revenue is because by the time we harvest the produce, it is dependent on what the market value is at that time when it was harvested. That's what is going to be sold. You understand? And clients can also ask you, oh, how do I know if this is the exact price that you want to sell it? We operate an open model where clients, if you are in Nigeria, you are able to come to us and then come monitor the process with which we are harvesting and selling. If you are not in Nigeria, you can send a representative to come to the farm so that the person is able to monitor what is going on your own acre of land. So the gestation period, how long does it take for it to grow? The very first year, you start harvesting your plantain. First year plantain, second year plantain, third year plantain. Then from the fourth year, the oil palm will kick off. Oil palm will take on for the next 15, 20, 30 years, depending on how it is being it depends on how you want it, but usually oil palm, actually the time frame where it fruits the most is between the 20th and 25th year. That's when it fruits the most. So this is an opportunity. This is a type of investment that you can even pass on to your children and to the next generation of children as well. For the rubber cluster, rubber tree will start fruiting from the 6th and 7th year. So from the 4th and 5th year, you won't earn anything from the plantain, because by that time, the rubber trees would have grown to maturity at some level, and it will naturally chase away the plantains. Plantains are very fragile type of plants. So they don't share boundaries with more domineering plants. Even small wind alone can even spoil plantains. You understand? So but we are going to be managing it very well so that we don't get to experience those kind of things. So rubber trees take 6 to 7 years for it to start fruiting. So if your investors are going for the rubber cluster, they'll start making revenue from the 6th or the 7th year. So as a company, we don't want a situation where people only make revenue from the 4th year or the 6th year. That's why we introduced plantain, so that people can start making money from the very first year. Now, management levels. How is the management level? Because of course, investors are the ones investing, and then we manage the farm for you. So as a company, we take 30% of the revenue that was gotten for that particular year, and then investors take 70%. However, if the clients are buying in bulk, let's say a client is doing 10 acres, 20 acres, 30 acres, 5 hectares, we can renegotiate the management fee. But if you're doing 1 acre, 2 acres, 3 acres, 5 acres, the management fee is 30%. That's the management fee. But if your client is doing bulk, then of course the management fee can actually be negotiated and all that. So what are some other features of Harmony Hills of Rootland Farms and Resorts is actually that is going to be coming with a resort. It's coming with a resort. Now, the resort is one of the developments that we also thought out very well so that people are able to um, connect with nature. People are able to connect with nature, have very good experience with nature, and all of those. And we're also going to be giving special leverage to people that have bought probably oil cluster or the rubber cluster to be able to also enjoy some sort of access and discounted ownership at the resort part. So let's say, for example, if you've been able to invest in oil palm cluster or rubber cluster, and the oil palm on the resort part, we are selling some of the cabins at, let's say, 60 million. For people that have bought before, can get some sort of leverage, a discount or something for wanting to own an apartment in the resort part. So these are very big and bright ways that you're able to earn um, benefits rather from Rootland Farms and Resorts. Okay, so what we have here moving forward is Penfield Estate. Penfield is sold out already. Ibudo also is sold out. So I don't think there will be any much need discussing about those two projects. The next project that I would like to discuss about is Eden Heights. However, Eden Heights is not in this slide, but Eden Heights is one of our developments also in Aja. Now we are developing 1 bedroom apartments, 12 units, 20 units of 1 bedroom apartments. That's what we are developing in Eden Heights. The title of the land is governor's consent, and investors are able to buy it and put it out for annual rental, because the location where Eden Heights is majorly annual rentals. It's not somewhere that somebody is going to buy and do short let apartment now. However, you can do short stays, let's say for people that wants to stay for 2 months, 3 months, and then move away. That project is actually good for that type of investor. But for investors who are looking at buying for investment purpose, is mostly very good for annual rentals. So you buy it, you put it out on annual rentals, and you are owning the apartments in your name. So I think with all of these, we are good to go for today. If we have questions, let's ask our questions. We can take our questions and then we'll take it up from here. Now, another thing I want to mention before we go, very, very important. I need you to write this down. As a salesperson, the quality of a person's life, okay, cost of Eden Heights is 35 million. 35 million. That's the cost of Eden Heights. Eden Heights is currently selling at 35 million. So I needed to write this down. This was actually said by Vince Lombardi. He said the quality of a person's life is determined more by the commitment to excellence than by any other factor. The quality, are you writing it out? The quality of a person's life is determined more by the commitment to excellence than by any other factor. So no matter what the external factor is, as a salesperson, be committed to excellence in everything you do. Be committed to excellence in anything you do. Your level of commitment to being excellent at what you do, being excellent at your sales processes, being excellent at your marketing, being excellent at everything you do is first of all related to your internal drive. So in this meeting, as we close out, I need you to have that drive within you to be excellent at every single thing you do. So let's take questions. Let's take questions and then we'll wrap it up for today. Dogari, your hands are up, so you can unmute your mic and then ask your questions.
Hi, good evening, Abel. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. It's really impactful. So, my question is, if I may get you correctly, you mentioned some of the some of the land, some of the products rather have freehold, right? Some of like Some of the
No, just only Rootland. Only Rootland have a freehold title. Only Rootland.
okay. So
Yes.
how do you but you know that freehold is not a title, it's just an ownership interest, literally. So you how do you convince a client to buy such such property? Because I know of so many real estate companies that don't even any land or any property that has freehold, they're not interested in
Mm,
it. That's because you cannot legally transfer it, you cannot verify it. It has so many issues. So but how
mm.
do you now convince a client to
Okay, so there's what we call land search. You can actually do this in the office of the Surveyor General, I think so. So there's what we call land search. Now, when as a company we are looking at getting properties, what we do is we get the properties directly from the customary owners. So when you get from the customary owners, you now process your ownership so that the asset will now be in your name. You understand? So that is the process that we as a company or we are now in the process of getting our global agric C of O from the Ogun State government. I don't think this thing is charging. Can you hear me?
yes.
All right, awesome. So we've already started that process. And by the time that is out, of course, the price won't be selling the way it is already. So we have the search document also available. I can share that with every one of us. If you need it, send me a DM. I'll send it to you. We have the search document. We've done the survey as well. So all of those things are things that as a company we have done preliminary to ensure that there are no issues on that land. Another thing, another benefit of you getting a freehold land is that there is no government interest. That's one of the things that freehold means. Even if it depicts ownership model, it tells you that there is no government interest. It shows that government is not interested in this land now and even in the future. You understand? That's why it is a freehold title.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mrs. Tokbe, your hands are up. We can take your question. Then
Yeah.
after Mrs. Tokbe gift, you can go through the chat box. If we have any question, kindly read out the questions and then I'll answer them from here.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you, Abel, for the very insightful, at least product knowledge of all your assets. So, with regards to the Rootland, I believe, um, although you've already explained the freehold that is free of government acquisition, but I would like to also find out about, you mentioned there were two forms, the one with the palm and plantain, and the other one with the rubber
Rubber and plantain.
and plantain. So basically, you're saying on the fourth and fifth year, the person does not have any earnings. I know for palms, usually it starts fruiting on the fourth and fifth year, right?
Yes.
Okay, so and it's going to be managed by you guys. That is the
Yes.
You're going to, so the sharing formula is 30 to 70%.
Yes.
Okay, so what one person would ask is this your first time doing this, or you have previous experience?
Okay, so that's a very brilliant question, and we've always been having this question in every of our investors meeting. So, as a company, as a company, one of the things that we also do is to invest so that the company makes money. Do you understand? We invest so that the company makes money. So, as a company, we have also done farm projects before, where we have our own farmland. You understand? So when the demand then came, when I say, okay, let's also extend the experts that we deployed to manage our own farmland to start a project that we can introduce to investors. That's where we now have Rootland Farms and Resort, and the managers of Rootland Farms and Resort are the people that have been managing our own farmland. Do you understand? So we have, when it comes to experience, we have experience having our own farm and managing our own farm. However, it is very, very important to know that this is the first agro project that we are introducing to our clientele. So there is always first time in everything, right? So our ability to have successfully delivered on previous projects, those are the track records that we have, that we're also gearing into Rootland Farms and Resorts to ensure that same level of excellence that was put into our previous projects is also put into Rootland Farms and Resorts. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, it does. And the kind of document the buyer will get.
Okay, so the investors will get a deed of assignment, a survey, and also contract of sale. Contract of sale is very, very, very paramount. Then they will also be getting an allocation letter when they are physically allocated. Then they will also be getting farm management agreements, because that's very important. It can actually come to a point where investors will say, "Oh, I don't want you to manage the farm again. I now have so much time. I want to manage my farm by myself." So that farm management will carry all of those terms and conditions and the rest. So even the sharing ratio, which is 30% comes to management for managing the farm, and then 70% to the investors. All of those things will be captured in the investors, in the farm management agreement, rather. So all of those things, those are the documents that the investor will be getting.
Okay, and the initial deposit, and is there any kind of payment plan?
Yes, apologies, I didn't mention that. So initial deposit, 500,000 naira. 500,000 initial deposit, then you spread the balance in 3 months or in 6 months. We are limiting it to 6 months because Agric is a time-based project. Agric is time-based project. So we don't want a situation where people are having extended payment period, and that's now delaying when we'll be planting for you, because by the time some clients, they will feel like, oh, the moment I pay now, I should be expecting my returns by next year, and you've not even finished your payments, right? So for us, what we do is clients that have finished their payments, we start planting for them. That's what we do. Then if clients are saying, oh, I know I'm unable to finish my payment at XYZ period of time, I need you to please consider me and I want you to also plant. We can also have those type of conversations, but we are very big on the ones that have completed their payments, and they will start planting for them and all that.
Okay, and the 3 to 6 months, is it interest free or free or?
So 6 months comes with 10% interest. However, the MD gave our investors on Friday, gave our investors a discount. So I'm going to have a conversation if that discount is going to apply to our partners also that are going to be bringing their customers. But for our investors, during our meeting last week Friday, the MD gave a discount. I don't even know why I'm mentioning that in this meeting. I'm not supposed to say that because that didn't come out of
We've heard though.
I've mentioned it already. So I'll have a conversation with the MD. Let's see if we're able to extend that to
Okay,
our partners, clients as well. So for now, 10% interest in 6 months, but 3 months is interest free.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Any other question? I know we've spent so much time in the call today. I hope we got value from the call this evening. If you got value from the call, let me see you do a thumbs up. If you got value from the call, let me see you do a thumbs up. Let me see you do a thumbs up. Okay, awesome. Amazing. Okay, I'm reading through the chat box to see if we have any question in the chat box. Okay, I think I've answered some of the questions in the chat box already. Okay, Oluwatoyosi was asking, just to be sure, sir, you said Goldmark Residence is currently off plan, and for off plan investors, they buy to sell when the building is at a more advanced stage, if it's development. Okay, I think I don't know if I can understand this question very well, but what I mentioned was that Goldmark residence, we have developed 12 units already, and the 12 units is selling at 152 million naira. Then the block C and the block D, they are now selling at off plan. So we have investors that love investing in off plan projects. So you now have to devise a strategy to reach out to those type of investors and pitch the off-plan part to them, because of course the off-plan is even cheaper than the ones that we've developed. Off-plan is selling at 152 million. The ones that are currently standing are selling at off-plan is selling at 100 million, and then the ones we've developed are selling at 152 million. So what you might want to do is, I think what we have is we have just 1 or 2 units available for the developed ones. I think we have 1 or 2 units available for sale. So those are the ones currently selling at 152. But the off plan, we have a lot of units available. Zenith is asking how many apartments in Goldmark. Okay, we have 36 units of 2-bedroom apartments, 36 units of 2-bedroom apartments, and 4 units of 3-bedroom penthouses that comes with a BQ. 4 units, 3-bedroom apartment comes with a BQ, then 36 units of 2-bedroom apartment. Out of the 36 units, we've developed 12 units already. And I think we have just 1 or 2 units that are available at secondary sale. Do you understand? We have 1 or 2 units available at secondary sale. So Ms. Topbe is asking, what's the full meaning of AIDA? A means attention. A means attention. I means interest. D means desire. And then A again means action. Action is get them to make payments, get them to pay for the product, get them to pay for the property. That's the meaning of the A that's there. So management formula. Okay, when do they germinate? I think I've answered that question. What title does it have? I've answered that question as well. And others. Awesome. Okay, I think we won't take any further questions again based on the timing. If you have any question, kindly reach out to us via the number showing in the chat box. If you have any further questions, you can reach out to us via the number showing on your screen. You can also scan the barcode to book an inspection to any of our projects within Lagos. And then we are going to be planning a general inspection to Rootland Farms and Resorts. For now, we've not really opened up the window for inspection because of the rainy season. So we are looking forward to the August break. So during that August break, we are most likely, we can't wait to receive you in Ibadan on Friday. We are coming to Ibadan. And also for those persons that attended the 3 days accelerator program that are in the city of Ibadan, we'll be distributing your certificates on that day. So try as much as you can to be present in Ibadan that day. So we'll be present in Ibadan. The venue is Ileri Residence. The venue we are meeting is Ileri Residence. So that will also be an opportunity for those of you that have not been there too before to be there, look at the project and all that. So I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for staying on the call up until now. Let's implement everything that you've learned on the call this evening. One of the things that's going to make you different and distinct from any other person is implementation. Implementation beats overthinking. Implementation beats overthinking. If you need to make a video and talk about the benefits that I've discussed about, please make a video, post it. When you post it on your Instagram, do well to also run ads on it. Don't only run on luck. Don't run on luck. Luck is only going to meet you on the road. And one of the ways it can meet you on the road is when you are able to run advert on it. Is when you run ads, you generate leads, and people are able to come to you and talk to you. Today, I had a target of talking to 100 clients. as much as I still have time to come for a meeting like this, I make sales calls on a daily basis. I make sales calls on a daily basis because even me too, I want to make more money. You are not the only one that wants to make money. You understand? So I want to make more money. You understand? So talk to people. The more you talk to people, the closer you are to making a sale. If you need more money, you make more sales. I will actually close with that. For people coming from Lagos, where are we going to meet to go to Ibadan? I've not concluded though that we are going to carry other persons from. I wanted to go with only the team members. However, please just stay in touch so that I'm able to conclude if we would go with one or two persons from the accelerator program. So that being said, I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for staying on the call up until this moment. Do have a successful week and happy selling. Cheers, everyone. Good night.
Thank you very much,
Night.
Mr.
Thank you
Ayo,
very
for
much,
this
Bill.
session.
Good night.
Thank you so much. It was really an impactful one, and I believed everyone gained value. Thank you so much. Do have a wonderful night. Thank you.